All right, and we're live.
Oh, we're live. We're
And we're live.
we're gonna debate the
All right, so
Judaism.
today we're positing that Christopher Columbus was Jewish. You gotta miss some shit. People watching, everyone that watches this video, you're kind of missing some shit. Sad to say, that's how it's gonna probably be. But I'm gonna start. I'm pro. I think he was Jewish. I think he practiced basic crypto Judaism under the form of conversos, which is we all know what conversos is. Um, and then the James will be the con. He'll explain his argument. Just give a quick rundown for like 3 seconds.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is that while some have speculated that Columbus had Jewish ancestry, right, or is like sympathies towards them for that reason, there's really no evidence that he secretly practiced Judaism, and that came up that his voyage was motivated by the 1492 expulsion of Jews. It's
Quiet. You haven't gotten into my argument. You're just positing that he was
you
not
you
Jewish.
haven't even
No,
started your argument. That
yeah,
you
I
said
know.
give
I'm just
my
giving a
argument.
quick rundown of what you're trying of what your stance is. Okay, I'll
That's what I
explain.
just said.
Yeah, and then you
That's
start
what
going to
that's what.
then you start going to disprove what I said, which I haven't even said yet. All right, starting off with yeah. First off, he left in 1492. What else happened in 1492? The Spaniards kicked out all the Jews.
Okay,
And
and
at that
Max.
moment, many conversos left. Many conversos left altogether. That cannot be a coincidence. And you're saying, oh, he wanted to find a new world. He
Okay,
wanted to
so
find
so
this and that.
so
You gotta
why
pause
did
it
he
for a
come
second.
back? Why did he come back to Spain and give like all that money to Spain? Like why would he do that? He and also he left with like royal um funding. He had the ships. He was funded. He was given titles by Ferdinand and Queen Isabella.
Me, 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 me.
And
That's
and also
but
prior to
but no
1492,
no no
he
hold
was
on hold on
trying to
hold
get
on hold
funding for the.
on hold on hold on.
Hey,
He
okay, I
didn't
was
come back.
talking and
He
then you
was
cut me off.
conversos. He was conversos. You asked me a question. I need to answer. He was conversos. He believed as foreign Christianity that was basically Crispo Judaism. He wasn't like
Okay,
banned like the other Jews. If a country says, all right, Methodists, you all have to leave. Presbyterians can stay, but they might not want to because like if this Protestant goes like it. Hold on. What's if West Christian Baptists get kicked out, the East Christian Baptists might take that as a cue. That's what conversos did. They were crypto Judaism that kind of believed in Christianity and kind of kept a lot of their old ways when they were forcibly converted. They might take that as
yeah,
a cue.
crypto Jews.
They don't want to come back, but they're allowed to come back. They're allowed to stay.
Yeah, that's why crypto Jews secretly left, right? Columbus didn't secretly leave. He asked Isabel and Ferdinand for funding, and they gave him that funding. And why would he uh, uh, go with Isabel and Ferdinand on that voyage, right? Like, why would he ask for their approval when he could have went to like Italy or Portugal, where they were much safer towards Jews? And yeah, again, like, why would he come back to Spain if he was leaving Spain? He came back to Spain like after that, and he considered himself a royal subject of Spain.
Italy and what?
He considered himself a royal subject of
Wait,
Spain,
hold on. Italy and what?
Italy, and Portugal.
I mean, I just don't think that posits a natural motive. Um,
Max, okay, you said that he is crypto Jewish. Where is the evidence that he's crypto Jewish other than you're just saying that?
cause no, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Because
hold
he
on,
is.
hold on. No,
Like what text? What tells me that he is? Is there like writings in his like letters that point to that?
yeah, no, no. It was in his
Oh,
when he would
show
quote.
them.
So um he would quote the Bible and he would quote the readings, but he would use a lot of Hebrew sentence structure in his writing.
Okay,
Um,
that's anachronistic.
yeah, no, but it's Hebrew. It's how the Hebrews wrote their thing. All the parallels. all the repetitive. It it resembles a translation, not the Castilian that would be taught.
He's talking about like biblical sounding phrases and occasional abbreviations or symbols like Yahweh, and a few lines written in a way that some claim to resemble Hebrew conventions because um
Also, dude,
the
it's just
biblical
weird. It
style
was
does
just
not equal Jewish style. That was the biblical style. Late medieval Christianity,
no,
which is
it
the
was
round
almost
time they hear
confusing
them,
because
was
he
very
quoted
biblical.
and he used the Old Testament way more than he used the New Testament. He used Jeremiah and Psalms, Daniel way more than he used the Gospels and Isaiah. He used it way more than the Gospels. Not Isaiah. Isaiah is basically the fifth Gospel, but
Well, he also didn't even write in Hebrew though. He wrote in Spanish and
yeah,
Latin.
because
I think
what
he
is he
was
gonna come out? He's like,
Italian.
oh yeah, I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew. No, he he was not like he was not gonna come out and say, oh yeah, I'm a Jew. If he wrote in, I mean, if he wrote in Hebrew, that would give it away. That would give away the thing. Would give it all away.
Well, I don't know. He
Like
kind of also used the cross
if
as a
people are trying to
symbol.
kill all like if people are gonna try to if I'm French and they're trying to kill the French people, uh, and I'm trying to like not get killed, I'm not gonna write in French. I'm gonna be writing in English to pretend I'm English.
Okay, but he's good. But what? Okay, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but what was your
Um,
point about how then he didn't write Hebrew?
well, I was saying that
Also, his name
you're
like
saying
his name just sounds fake.
his name sounds fake. Oh, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to. Um, well, like so.
Like it just makes sense to me that if he was conversos, if he came from forcibly converted Jews, that he would have a way deeper knowledge of Hebrew and the Old Testament way more than the Gospels and the New Testament, which is why he may have um which is why he may have uh you know been conversos.
Quoting, like, so you think that because he quoted the Old Testament, though,
It would make
that
sense.
that
It would make
proves
and
that
also
he's
just
Jewish?
it's just like that, and also the fact it's just so convenient that he literally left in the same time as the expulsion of the Jews.
So you're saying that because Columbus quoted or referenced the Old Testament more than the New Testament, therefore he must have Jewish beliefs or sympathies?
I'm
Is that
saying
what
that
you're
he was
saying?
I'm saying that he was probably converted. That he was probably held a lot of Jewish sympathies and a lot of Jewish customs, and he was crypto Jewish.
Well, just so you know, the New Testament being the center of Christianity. Well, not it is the center, but the back in medieval times, Christians like really held the whole Old Testament as the foundation of Christian history, right? They, they it was mainly used for the moral teaching and the liturgy. You know the Catholic liturgy, like the Mass, that comes from the Old Testament, right? And the New Testament. Um, and moral teaching comes from the New Testament, but the foundation of theology comes from the Old Testament.
So
And Columbus was obsessed with prophecy, right? And what has the most prophecies? The Old Testament, right?
say that again.
Um, the New Testament was mainly used like uh so back then, Christians held the Old Testament as the foundation of Christianity because it is, right? They held it to a much higher view than we do today. We hold the New Testament much higher, right? But back then they used the New Testament for moral teaching and some of the liturgy. They
But he
the
obsessed
liturgy,
over it.
the
Obsessed over
mass
the
comes
he
mostly from
obsessed
the
over
Old
Old Testament.
Testament.
He had a book of prophecies that
Yes,
obsessed
and
over Old
and
Testament. prophecy.
The Old Testament is a book of prophecy, right? There's so many prophecies in the Old Testament, and if Columbus is obsessed with prophecy, he's
Have you
going to
read the
quote
book
from
of
the Old
Have you
Testament.
read the book of prophecies? Take that for a no. Next thing, also, what back to his name. His name is linked with so many Sephardic families in Spain. Like Columbus is linked to Sephardic Jews. It was a Sephardic name, and even though it could come out of that, that's something that could absolutely work with everything I'm seeing. And also, he interacted with so many conversions. He had patrons and financiers. Epstein, Epstein, Einstein,
Okay, so
Epstein.
Christopher Columbus
Uh,
is
with so many conversos and Jews in Spain.
okay. Christopher
And
Columbus comes from the name Cristobal Colon, right? Uh, which Cristobal comes from the Latin name Christophorus. Oh, no, that's Greek. Christophorus, right? Which means Christ bearer. I don't think Jews would like the name Christ bearer. I don't know how that's Jewish. And then Columbus comes from Dove, which comes from
I'm talking
a
about Columbus. I'm not. I said his last name, Columbus.
okay, Columbus. Columbus means Dove, which comes from the etymology of no, no, Cologne comes from the etymology of Columba, right? And Columba means dove in Latin, which means like which is like the Holy Spirit, symbolic for the Holy Spirit.
But
Now you're saying that
I
Columba
mean,
is symbolic.
doves aren't just the Holy Spirit. The doves were used in the Old Testament too.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is wait. So
Don't say your real name.
I know a kid named Elijah. Is he like secretly Jewish because it's in the Old Testament?
That's not what I'm saying. And
Oh,
also,
oh,
that's completely different. That's completely irrelevant nowadays.
no, but aren't we talking about names?
That's completely irrelevant nowadays. You don't.
Aren't we talking about names?
Names transcend race now. I go down the street. I see a
Oh,
white man
well,
named I see a black man named Simon. There's no correlation. It doesn't
okay.
matter.
So I've also
Also it's
seen.
different. Like you Isaiah, Elijah, those are first names. Those aren't last names. You don't get that passed down from from
Okay,
um
but his actual name, the untranslated version, was like Cristobal Colon, right? That's that's Spanish, and it comes from
were the conversos
A
not
Greek
Spanish?
roots.
They were
It comes from
Sephardic
what?
Jews. They were there for centuries. The Muslims in Spain had Jewish
Like
physicians.
the the Muslims in Spain were Jews?
No, they had Jewish physicians. Jews were living there for centuries.
Oh,
The Muwalladi had to, like they were completely different than the mainline Muslims, Ashari Muslims, all the way back in Arabia. The Muwalladi had to persist with so many different cultures and religions in Andalusia and in Badajoz. They they were in Valencia. They had all that land. They had to live with the most Arabics. Yeah. Um and the Christians there. Yeah, they used to live with the Christians and the Sephardic Jews there. They were not just like massacring them when they were there.
wait, but so far all you've argued is an argument from circumstance, which isn't enough at all because the amount of like circumstantial evidence that you're actually giving would be enough for any other Spaniard in Spain at that time, right? Um, and the only one that you actually have like going to him specifically is his name, which his first name is Cristobal, which means Christ bearer, and Columbus, which means dove, which is a representative of the Holy Spirit.
If he was named by first generation conversos, that would not surprise me in the least. And they named Christ Bearer. Okay, like that's
But
not surprising at all.
isn't that like I don't know, I just see that as like not something that someone who holds a religion that strongly would like take that as his their name or something, you know?
I mean, uh, that would be probably pretty good at convincing them. That would probably be pretty good to like convince them that he was. that they were like super in on it. If they were trying to keep it secret that they were like crypt, well, they if they're trying to keep it secret that they were crypto Jews. Um, I mean, I feel like naming your son, um, Christ bearer would be a good way to do that to convince them that you're in on it.
Uh-huh.
Like, so first off, he his connections in Spain were super Jewish. Were converso financier. He had Spanish converso financiers and um financiers and sponsors. His last name could absolutely be converso in Sephardic in nature. His he left in the year when the Jews were expelled from Spain,
Okay.
and
There's still zero.
he
Okay.
obsessed over Old Testament in Hebrew in the Old Testament, way over the New Testament.
Well, there's still zero direct evidence, which you do need direct evidence, that Columbus was Jewish or practiced Judaism. Other than that, it's just a theory that might or may not be true. There is no Hebrew writing, no Jewish rituals, no rejection of Christ on his part, while
Are
his
you
own journals
are
are.
you just hanging the towel? Are you raising the white flag, saying, "Oh, we're at a stalemate"? Oh, well, I can't prove you wrong. You can't prove me wrong.
No, no, I'm telling you why you're wrong.
You haven't explained this. You
Well,
haven't given a single key evidence that I'm wrong.
I'm trying to talk right now.
Yeah,
So, so yeah,
you
okay, so yeah, there's no Hebrew writing. No, he never had it. He was never part of a Jewish ritual, and he never rejected Christ. So already he's a proclaimed
do you have a
Christian,
camera of him?
and his own journals
Do you have a
are covered with explicit Christian beliefs. There are prophecies about Christ, and he showed his devotion to the Trinity and Mary. The arguments for his Judaism rely on speculation and
But
uh,
my argument isn't even
looking
that
for
he's Jewish.
symbols and modern
My
projection.
argument is that he's crypto-Jewish converso.
You're misreading normal
Conversos believed
medieval
in Jesus,
habits.
the divinity of Jesus Christ. I'm not attacking that he didn't believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ or Mary, or even the Trinity. I'm just saying he's crypto-Jewish, like converso.
Okay. You also said that he is like his like writing habits, right? You're you're using you're misreading normal medieval Christian habits. They would use Old Testament language. They would use symbolic signatures and converso contacts.
What?
Now, if you're reading normal medieval Christian habits as Jewish codes, Christians just you back then usually used Old Testament language, symbolic signatures, right? They just usually use that. Historically speaking, Columbus lived, wrote, and he sailed across the sea, right? And he understood that his mission. He thought that his mission was like was very Christian. Like he openly intensely
you're saying
intense.
you're
He
saying
intensely showed that he was a Christian, and
you're saying that's
like,
like, oh, that was normal medieval Christian writing habits. He wasn't
but
living in medieval era. He wasn't
you're
living in
this is
medieval era. The medieval era ended 40 years before. Like
it was the late Middle Ages, the start of the Renaissance era.
the end of the medieval era was the fall of Byzantium.
Well, I mean, some people judge the end of the medieval era at 1500,
I
but
say
why don't
1500. I, I, I disagree.
okay? There are historians that would disagree with you who majored in history.
Did you
Um,
major in history?
but what
Did you major in history?
did, did I?
Don't
No,
point
did
to
you?
don't point to
Did you?
authority. Don't point to authority that isn't in this call right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's people smarter than I would that would agree with me that converso that he was a converso. He would himself agree with me.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be some, but not many. I'm sure
Hey,
most would agree.
he wouldn't agree with me. His dad would agree with me. his wife agrees with me, and his mom would agree with
Oh,
me.
his wife? Who? Wait, who?
I misspoke. You misheard me. I said his mom.
Wait, what?
I misspoke. I said his mom.
Someone's mom? Whose mom?
I said his mom.
Whose mom?
Christopher
His
Columbus's
mom?
mom.
Christopher
Christopher.
Columbus's mom? She would agree with you?
Yes.
What? What are you talking?
His mom and his dad, and he, yeah, no, even his wife, they would agree with me.
What are you talking about?
All right, now he's. What is bro going
You
on
said
about?
Christopher Columbus's mom would agree with you that
Yeah,
he was Jewish.
that he was Converso's crypto-Jewish. You're miswording what I'm saying.
I'm not miswording what you're saying. You just said that Christopher Columbus's mom, wife, and other people would agree with you.
Yeah, they would. You said, oh, this. So you were saying that I'm saying it's just as pointless. You can't point to authority in this call to disprove my point. You if like
Well,
if
except that I can look it up on ChatGPT right now.
okay, great way to disprove your argument. You were looking at ChatGPT the whole time.
I said I was gonna go on ChatGPT.
All right, great. So we got long pubes, long pubes.
What?
Use ChatGPT for his argument the whole time. Take that as you will, audience.
I just said I was gonna use it. I didn't say I was using it.
He needs to use ChatGPT the whole time. Great. Way to ruin the whole thing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
I feel like this is projection, Max.
what?
I feel like this is projection.
Explain.
Basically, you know, you're you know that you're not winning. Like you know that your claim has no credibility, so you're blotting out claims about me. It's ad
All
hominem.
right, you want? Let me
Ad
finish my
hominem.
point. You said that you
Okay.
said, oh, these people would agree with me. These, and I said his mom, his wife, and his dad would agree with me. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. We can't point to people that aren't in this call for validation or or for validation or confirmation because they aren't in this call. They aren't in this debate. I can't say if I'm in an argument about morals and ethics, I can't say, "Hey,
Hey
God would
Siri.
agree with me. God would agree with me." You can't really do that
Hey Siri.
because that's not the
How? Hey Siri. Is it based to claim that Christopher Columbus was Jewish? Oh. Hmm. Oh, actually no. Uh, Crypto-Jewish.
I bring forth a claim and you spit on it. You spit all over my claim because you think it's stimulating. And you say, "Hey, look, this random researcher who I won't name, mind you, I will not name who the researcher that will agree with me, the historian that will agree with me, but I know they'll agree with me over you. That's not how you debate. We're in a debate, and debating. You're not debating correctly.
Hey
Um,
Siri. Would historians agree with me?
yeah, again, that's not for the argument. If we're in a debate, if we're in a school debate, you can't say it's based on how much you can convince your audience. I believe I've done a great job of convincing my audience that Christopher Columbus was indeed a
Okay,
crypto-Jewish
but you said that I couldn't.
conversos.
You said that I couldn't use like historians, right? Because they're not
You
here.
can use their validation to
Because
prove your point. You can't say,
because
"Oh,
because
I'm
it,
right
you,
because."
no 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 no
No,
no
but
no no
Cody,
no
that's a
no no
fallacy.
no
That's a
no
logical
no
fallacy.
no no no
Listen,
no 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 no. Going back earlier, um, I said
you
something
can't.
about someone. I said something about someone majoring in history, right? Because
Yes, you
you
did.
said
And
that
I
like
showed the
someone
authority. That's a logical
would agree with
fallacy.
you. I said like most people who have majored in history would agree with me. And so that was a response to something that you said. That was a logical fallacy.
What was it? Can you please name it?
It
No, you can't.
was a long time ago, and I said someone majored in history would agree with me. And then you said, "Did you major in history?" And I said no. So you said it didn't matter. But then I said, right here, would historians agree with me who probably majored in history? And it says yes, the vast majority professional historians would agree with me.
It doesn't
Do you
matter.
see
That
how?
doesn't matter in your debate. That's an appeal to authority. That's a logical fallacy. That is a logical fallacy.
But it was a response to a logical fallacy you made. So I made the same
What was
logical
the logical
fallacy
fallacy that I
to
made,
prove you
please?
that logical
Please.
fallacy is still on my side. Because even though that you are using
Well,
logical
first
fallacies,
off, two wrongs
I'm
don't make it right.
still
Second off, I need to know what logical fallacy I did so I can reword what I said or hear what I said. I need to at least hear what I said.
um you said something about like uh you said that like the medieval era, like I said that like some historians say it ended at 1500, and you said that was wrong. And I said, well, some people who've majored in history would disagree with you. And then you said, did you major in history? And I said no. But you said so you said then it doesn't matter. And you said that I couldn't like point to people who aren't in the call. But I just looked up and like these historians do agree with me.
No recollection. I have no
Okay.
recollection of that
So
ever happening.
never okay.
I think you're making. I frankly think you're making that up. Let's move on. Let's move on to a second point. Let's move past your logical fallacies because, frankly, we're not even talking about
Yeah,
Christopher Columbus anymore. We're not even talking about Christopher Columbus anymore. We're talking about your logical fallacies, and you're trying to make it right, saying, "Oh, two wrongs don't make it right," and then you make up stuff about what I said.
no, I didn't say
You're
that.
distorting
It's
what
not,
I said
I didn't even
about the medieval era because
mine
the
wasn't even a
medieval era
logical
ended here, and I
fallacy
said it
because
ended here because
because
that's when
the way we
that's
mark
when
eras,
that's the
Max.
this isn't field authority. This is the agreed end to an era.
Okay,
Let's
you
find
said
something else.
you said
I don't. Do you have anything else to say about whether he was a Jew? He was a crypto Jewish uh converso. Do you have anything else to say?
um well um well he's just obviously not Jewish, right?
Okay,
You
so
know, like
we're going right into conclusions. I see that
okay,
we
look,
have. I
okay,
see.
no. Look, just gonna say this. There's no direct evidence that Christopher Columbus was Jewish, right? So you can't say that he is. You can't.
You can hold
Now
that
we have
position.
direct evidence that points to other things we believe in. But because there's circumstantial evidence that can apply to every other Spaniard, that does not mean he is Jewish. Because his own writings
Thank you.
and his actions are openly Christian. So that would contradict everything that is
Yes, but you
shown
misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm
in
not saying
his
he's
history.
Jewish. I'm saying he's crypto Jewish. I'm saying crypto Jewish conversos. Do you know what conversos are? They believe in a lot of Christian stuff, but they
Crypto
also believe
Judaism.
in a lot of Jewish stuff. Okay, whatever. We're come to a stalemate. I will confirm that I don't think you will convince me. I will most likely not convince you. Um, but that's how the way things are sometimes. Um, Very sad.
Okay, you know
Anyway,
Crypto
so
Jew.
I've end my posit saying due to way too much circumstantial evidence to be circumstantial to be coincidental. I posit that he is a crypto Jewish um, converso Christian. That's
Uh,
I think it's a we shake hands on it. We both agree to
nah,
disagree.
I-
We both agree to disagree on this topic. We show each other the greatest amount of respect to our fellow debater. Thank you. Have any more words?
nah, I'm good.
A sign of respect. Thank you for or not thank you because we're in this together. But like a good game.
Uh, yeah, good talk. Yeah, good talk.
All right, GG's, bro. Anyway, that wraps up our debate about whether Christopher Columbus was a crypto Jewish um, converso Christian. Thank you very much.